Yeah, hi there. This is Michael from the 7-Step System to Pass the TOEFL IBT. And these comments are for, I'm going to use the very first letter of your name, C, from Korea. And let's take a look at your situation. You say, I'm supposed to appear for the TOEFL exam on the 14th of next month. I am very upset because I already took the TOEFL exam and unfortunately got 60. I do not know what happened with my skill. I was very confident on test day but failed to secure the desired marks. This is my last chance to submit my result to the institution on which I got conditional admission. Help me please. I need just 85. I am a full-time researcher and could not even afford high-priced tutorials. My previous score was like this. So speaking 14, writing 23, reading 12, and listening I'm not sure what that one is, you left it out, but then you say I'm anxiously waiting for your positive response, warmest, C. Alright, I think I can help you. Now the only thing I want to just clarify with you is, so you want to go from 60 to 85 by April 14th, and if the 60 that you scored was your realistic score, which means that's the English proficiency that you have right now, it's very difficult to increase your score 25 points in less than a month. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, I'm just saying that it's difficult. Generally, when people use my service, they expect to get between 5 and 10 points higher each month that they use my service. So what I'm saying is your English and improving your English proficiency is kind of a slow, gradual, steady kind of climb. It usually doesn't happen overnight. And but I can help you, and you know that my service is not very expensive, and the reason is I understand that your budget's tight. I know that you have a lot of stuff going on, and I know the last thing you want to do is just spend hundreds or thousands of dollars a month to improve your English proficiency, which is why one of the reasons I created the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. It's only $35 a month, so if you need to use my service more than a month, and in your case, I think you'll probably need to use my service anywhere from 3 to 4 months, I think, before you get your desired score. So it takes time. I mean, you're telling me right now you have 14 points out of 30 on the speaking. That means you have some serious pronunciation problems. You're having some vocabulary issues. You're also having probably some grammatical problems when you're speaking, right? Now, on the other hand, your writing is really strong, so you don't have any major problems in that. But we can still improve your reading, your listening, and your speaking areas, right? Now, I'm guessing that by sending me this email, you already know a little bit about my 7-step system. And one of the first things I think you need to do once you become one of my students is take the pronunciation pretest, because we need to figure out immediately what pronunciation problems you're having. And then I can recommend specific lessons in my pronunciation step to help you get better. Now, the other thing you want to do is immediately begin completing 1 speaking practice test per day as long as you're using my service. And then once you do a practice test, I'll listen to it, I'll score it, evaluate it, I'll make some recommendations, including specific lessons that you can review to help strengthen your speaking skills. Now, for the writing, you probably already know I have a vocabulary step which will help you learn 1,700 words. Also, in my reading step, I have some good videos which will get you used to the IBT test taking strategies for the reading section of the test. Also, I have 70 different speed reading tests designed to increase your reading speed from 100 to 350 words a minute. Now obviously, see, if you can read faster, believe it or not, you can comprehend more. A lot of students think that you need to read slower for better comprehension, but that's actually false. Research suggests that the faster you read, the fewer distractions you will have, and the easier it will be for you to remember what you have read. Anyway, thank you for contacting me. At this point, I'd like to invite you to become one of my students. I'm not going to make any specific promises about that I can increase your score, to 85 in 3 or 4 weeks, but as long as you're one of my students, I will do my best to help you. So I would recommend that you subscribe immediately, because once you see my 7-step system, you're going to go, wow, Michael, you have a very extensive English training program for TOEFL students. And the answer is yes, I do. But just remember this quote here: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. This was a saying from a Chinese philosopher. So once you become one of my students, just begin with the vocabulary, go to step 1, then maybe go to pronunciation and do step 1, and maybe with grammar go to step 1. And let me just explain one more thing too. A lot of my students, when they're using my 7-step system, see, for the first month they'll focus on their vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar areas first. These are what I call the foundation English skills. Then for the second month, they focus on the reading and the listening areas of my 7-step system to improve their proficiency in those 2 areas. And then the final month, they focus in the more difficult areas, the writing and the speaking parts of my course. And a lot of students will go through my system using it in 3 months, doing exactly what I told you right there. Remember, I am only an email away. Now obviously, when you're one of my students, you're not going to meet with me in real time. It'll be kind of like this. You'll ask me a question, you'll do a practice test, and either I will talk to you, I will write to you, or I will record some either video or audio comments to you so you can get some feedback from me as your instructor. So this is what I call a delayed response. So when you take a writing, speaking, or pronunciation practice test, it typically takes me about 24 hours to get back to you and to give you some comments about the practice test that you just submitted. So, and that's one of the reasons why I can offer my service the way I do. I can offer it for only $35 a month because I'm not required to be anywhere online at any specific time. I can do it on my convenience. For example, right now, believe it or not, I'm talking to you from a hotel room in Orange County. My family and I just spent the whole day at Disneyland today. And I'm just back at my hotel, and I just checked a few emails, and there you were. In my message box. But anyway, thank you very much for contacting me, and all the best to your high scoring TOEFL success.